Hello, everyone. I am back with part two of self doubt. And so today I want to start with number 7. If you kind of missed my first part, I covered part 1 and part 2. Part 1, numbers 1 through 6. So today I'm going to talk about part 2, tips number 7 through 13. Okay, so number 7 is what someone said or did may not be about you, or you may think it's about you, but it really isn't. Just like sometimes you may go on a second date with someone, or they didn't request a second or third date, and you go, well, what happened? Sometimes it could be a personal situation that they're dealing with and they don't want to express it, and it wasn't about you. Sometimes when you go to work and you have a conflict with a coworker, sometimes they may be up under emotional duress, and so maybe that conversation, that tone wasn't really about you. It was about something much deeper that they're dealing with personally. So sometimes you got to think about certain scenarios maybe have nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with maybe what that person is actually facing, the different obstacles and the different frustrations. And so sometimes you just have the brunt of it, or sometimes the person just doesn't respond back to you. And so so that was number 7. Number 8 is get a boost of optimism. Sometimes we need like words of encouragement. We got to stay motivated. We got to stay in the fight. We have to keep dominating the day every day. In order to do that, sometimes you got to take a few minutes to yourself, with yourself, to maybe listen to a podcast or audiobook that focuses on personal development. Maybe you need to look at remember your words of affirmation. Sometimes you need to spend 10 or 20 minutes just focusing on you and having that me time to kind of revitalize yourself, refocus, recenter, because sometimes the day-to-day can, and the hustle bustle of work can kind of beat you down. And so you want to think about refocusing. Okay, so number 9 is a setback can be temporary. Sometimes, when you're looking for another job and it's not what you're waiting for that big moment. And so sometimes when you don't get what you're looking for, it is a temporary setback. It's very stressful. It's very emotional. And all those elements pushed together, you feel a certain kind of way. But that's just a temporary way that you feel. And so you have to get back into your routine, and you got to keep pushing forward. You got to keep reapplying. You got to keep doing things. Maybe like your goal of opening up a business, it didn't quite work out. You got to just maybe re-strategize to regroup, but you got to keep going. And so sometimes when you have that momentary setback, you have to think about, you have to stop thinking that you're a failure, okay? A lot of people, they will assume that they are a failure because they did not get that promotion, they didn't get that job, they didn't get their business launched, or maybe that house, or whatever it is in your life. You can't think that you're a failure at all. You got to look at all the other things you were successful at. Maybe it just wasn't your time, or all the elements didn't come together. And that is frustrating when you're in that moment, because I've been in that moment, so I can relate to this. So you have to kind of still keep moving forward, and you still got to take that chance. You still got to take that next leap to try to accomplish that goal. And so at some point you have to, give yourself that personal moment, and then you got to brush yourself off, and you got to keep going. And then you got to ask yourself, what is one thing that you've learned from the experience? And sometimes it's something very, very small that can benefit you in the future. So think about, what did you learn from that experience when you had that setback? Okay. Number 10 is sharpen your skills. Sometimes we don't think about, there's some things that we can do as a professional, or things we can do to strive to become a better professional. You want to sharpen your skills. You want to start looking at maybe some courses you need to take, maybe some free courses online that you may want to work towards, improving certain, like for example, like Excel or PowerPoint, or even like with this live challenge. Going live for 30 days is a challenge itself, trust me, because you got to think about your topics. But then it's sharpening up my skills. And I've noticed that initially I was very kind of like shy being on live, but now I'm really showcasing who I really am in my personal life. And so I'm just kind of letting that shine, and I'm kind of going with it. So the more you do something, the better you'll become. So that's why you want to work on sharpening your skills. So number 11 is don't beat yourself up. I know that I've done this in the past where if it's something that I didn't get, something I didn't receive, or a job or promotion, or it could be something on a family level, you can't beat yourself up. You just have to let it go and keep it pushing. That's just the bottom line to it. And so you have to kind of think about what small steps can you now use to move forward and propelling you to make more progress. So the whole key is you got to keep going, regardless of the fact. You know, you have your personal moment and you got to keep going. But if you keep beating yourself up, you're never going to move forward. You're never going to think about what you learned from it. You're never going to think about how you're going to become more successful. You're just going to stay in that one slump. So you got to get out the slump by stop beating yourself up, okay? Number 12, celebrate the small steps. My celebration of small steps, I hope my husband not watching, but I like to do a little shopping when I celebrate my accomplishments. And so you have to, do things for yourself, because as an adult, who's going to do it for you? You know, when you were a kid, your parents bought you like little things and they gave you rewards for certain grades or whatever that might be like in your childhood. But as an adult, who's going to celebrate your win? You. So you got to come up with a reward system. So I'm coming up with one for December, and I have some business and some professional goals I'm trying to accomplish. And so yeah, I'm working on my next reward. Okay, I hope you're not watching, but yeah, I am. So I want you to think about how that will recharge you, that will recharge your thinking, and you feel like, yes, I can do the next goal, the next baby step. Let's get going. Be your own cheerleader. Push yourself to the next level. And number 13, the last one, you can course correct. I believe in course correction, okay? What I mean by course correction is sometimes your plan may be going in one direction, you have it written out to the T, and you're thinking that, okay, I got to go on this certain path, but sometimes you have to regroup, and you got to be willing to make some adjustments. And so I'm making some adjustments in, a lot of areas of my life. And so it's nothing wrong with course correction. There's nothing wrong with stepping back, evaluating the situation, and then saying, you know what, I need to do this a little bit differently, or I need a little bit more time to work in this area, and I need to recenter and refocus. So I want you to think about, there's nothing wrong with course correction. You celebrate your course correction, because that may enable you to be even more successful. So adjust as you need to. There's nothing wrong with that. You may be taking too many classes. I see this all the time, taking too many classes. You need to do a course correction. Adjust. Get a little bit of stress off of you. Think about what's going on in your personal life that's way too much that you're trying to balance all the time. So be open to do a course correction. Okay, so today finishes my 13 points of self-doubt, part 1 and part 2. If you missed out, please go back and review the previous live. And if you are going to do one of the tips, put it down in the comments. And I thank you so much, everyone, for showing up online today. I appreciate you, and I'll be back on tomorrow.